What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode with AB Investments. Hopefully, you're having a great day. Uh, I know the markets didn't, so I'm having a great day. Hopefully, you are. And we know the markets didn't. And why might that be? So, according to the news, according to them, it's apparently the markets were reacting to the CPI data that's supposed to be coming out tomorrow or submitted tomorrow, and aka the inflation numbers. Now think on it, guys. How, like, did we from last report, or like 2 3 weeks ago exactly, almost to a month ago, when we seen new lows on uh, the the market in general, whether it was the S&P, Nasdaq, and everything. Today was just a little taste. What do you think tomorrow is going to be? Think the numbers that are going to be reported. Please put your comments or your thoughts in the comment section on as far as what do you think those uh, that report is going to be like. Is it going to be are they going to report stuff? Do you think is going to be stuff where it's like, hey, inflation is getting better, we are going to have a soft landing, according to the Fed? Or are they going to report something that shows that things are getting worse, much worse than April? And here's the thing: I personally think that it's the number two, because look around and listen to what we're now listening to. You got many companies, if not almost all, whether major or smaller, they're all laying off employees. What is one thing we remember from 2008? One of the things that we remember about 2008: people losing their jobs. We are in that step already. Here's another thing. So I think that's going to be screwed. Now, unfortunately, what does that help? That helps them on the other side to pretend like, oh, we didn't know about all this. That's why we were green. Now we're afraid. These numbers are terrible. It's not like we weren't here last month, or it's not like it wasn't bad last month, but we got hope in between that month until the next data gets reported, and now we can collect our profits from what we were pumping up the whole entire market with. Does it make sense? Well, to me it does. It's just a pump and dump scheme to collect profits, or to get certain entities to get out of the way before everything collapses right on top of their heads. We've seen what happened, similar stuff like this back in 2020, when the Fed members were all there was a blackout phase, but yet Fed members, including the chairman Jerome Powell, still being able to execute, or in other words, he did execute millions of dollars worth of transactions that obviously, if he were to follow the rules and the laws and not do so, he was going to lose a lot of millions like everyone else did. But hold up, everybody is different, unfortunately, right? I know how you feel about that, because I know how I feel about that. But again, this is the system in the world that we live in, right? So tomorrow, AB is anticipating, again, not financial advice. Everybody does what they want to do. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just letting you know my opinion. I'm going to see yours in the comment section. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be another major continuation of today. And that helps you know who. I personally think that they're also trying to drag this out as much as possible. I mean, obviously, we've been seeing it for over a year and a half, but what is coming up? If you look on the options chain, next week on the 17th, when that expires, there is over 318 or 320,000 contracts, call options, that as of this point are expiring out of the money. Could it be that the greed is like, hey, we're screwed? Because look at the data. Last time we ripped, we didn't even have this stuff. We had way less. Like, cost to borrow was much less. Days to cover was much less. The shorted float was much less. Everything. And we ripped to obviously 70. You guys remember that story back in June of 2021. How are we in a worse market condition this year now, a year later, and Everything is much higher. The economy's all screwed. And yet, it didn't rip yet. Well, one thing you can't forget about is that it could literally happen at any given moment, because all the fundamentals at this point are actually on our side versus before. Whatever reported numbers and all that, it's kind of like, okay, what is the borrow fee? The cost to borrow was so minuscule. It was like 1.3% to now it's rising. I just looked at it last, and it was around the last person that borrowed shares too short. They paid like, what was it, 24.6%? That's rising. It's with all what's happening, is impossible to hold unless there is an entity that is constantly paying for all these. But it's, at the end of the day, it's not profitable. Even if all these contracts go out of the money and the options chain and all that, it's good to a certain extent, but it's not a profitable scheme anymore. Not right now. Not when the shorting is cost a lot more even to borrow shares. Not with all this talk and the drama and all the eyes on it and everything for over a year and a half. We know what's up, guys. I almost said something, but I can't say it because, again, I'm not a financial advisor. But yeah, keep an eye on tomorrow and what could happen. Like I said, I see greed. I feel it. That's what they're aiming for. Can they carry it? That's the trillion dollar question in this case. Speaking of the trillions, look at the Federal Reserve. The entity that is supposed to be selling off his unloading his balance sheet and selling off his assets, and it should be down to, at the end of this month, it should be down. I mean, it has to be down to 1.9, I think, or 1.8 trillion or less. Well, today we made a new record from yesterday's record, which was $2,142 billion. Yesterday's was $2,140 billion. Now, it seems what they're doing is that they need all this money, obviously, to come out. The counterparties are rising. There's 101 today, compared to yesterday's was 98. I've been watching all of that. But it seems like the money is needed. That's why these guys are pumping this. And then I guess by the end of the month, that's when they unload their balance sheet. And guess what? And their assets. And guess what? I have a huge feeling that the entire market is going to hear or feel about that, or the rumors about that, toward the end of the month. And who knows? Could we go to the moon and come back by the end of this month? I mean, it's possible. It's possible. Not saying it will, but it's possible. Who knows? Could be. And then by the end of the month, Fed's unloading their assets. I mean, obviously only 65 billion, or at this point, I mean, that's what they announced. At this point, anything could be changed. I mean, just like that BBIG and GME postponement. So always expect the worst, but hope for the best, guys. So what are we going to walking out with? There's a lot of bullish momentum. All the fundamentals are on our side now, more than anything. Media is all here. Clearly everybody's holding. And again, I just want to end this video with one thing. For those of you out there, I know that you're shills. There's no way that there is a year and a half later, even if you walked in just 6 months ago or a year ago, that people still have that doubt, or holders of AMC or GME still have that doubt that what if we really are just trading that one float? Well, it's such a dumb question, and not to shit on anybody or any of that, but please go look at numbers. Like, go look at the one failure delivers. But if you don't want to go that far, go look and I guess somehow search to see every broker's submission of buy and sell orders for the past year and a half and see what it is. AMC alone, I'm just going to use that as an example instead of GME. If AMC has been in 2021 the most famous and traded stock on the stock market, famous, number one, let's say let's say it was number 3 by the end of the year, even if it was in the top 5 or 10. If you look at those numbers, you'll see that most brokers were getting more buy orders than sell orders on a daily basis, especially Fidelity. You can go and search that and you'll be able to see it. In fact, that's what the We Are Retail letter to the SEC was showing, some of that data. So if you still think that we're trading one normal float of 513 or 541 million shares, go look for over a year and a half on a daily, every trading day, business day, there were more buying orders than sell orders. If you add all those up, I guarantee you, and I'm not saying this, but I guarantee you your ultimate number will be in the billions. Nobody can put exact cap on it unless you go through that every day, and every broker, which has been, no one has done that yet. Someone could, though. If you have access to all datas and you're very IT tech savvy, and you can search these things, hey, guess what? You can come up with the right float. But I can tell you that we're not trading one float, guys. If you still think that, or that more people sold than bought, go look at facts. Don't listen to these shills out there, or all these, whatever, Win Lambo or Lambo Monday, Lambo 50, or Ferrari Tuesday and all that stuff. Like, it's fun and all entertaining, but if you want to make a money decision, go look for it yourself and see that data, if it makes sense or not. Since it doesn't make sense to me, why in the hell would I even settle for something stupid? Like, even those other channels that promote this peanuts evaluations or whatever, it's because they're living in denial. They still view this as it's okay, they still, you know what, there's a problem, and this is gonna make this video longer, but there's a problem with, I'll make a separate video for that, okay? Or I might even go live for that, because this is gonna make this video even way longer than 12 minutes. So stop believing, stop thinking that you are in this out of luck, or it's not real, and it's kind of like you're stealing your wealth, or you're getting lucky and you just came up on this. You didn't come up on nothing. This was a business opportunity and you took it, each single one of you. So if anybody out there is telling you, or you watching some people that are telling you, oh my God, we'll be lucky to get this and whatnot, you have no freaking idea about what the hell you're talking about. You're living in the moment, and this whole be fast, be quick, and all this stuff, that means you just truly don't know the value of what you hold. Just go imagine how much money they made off of your money, my money, and her money, and his money, and her money, and his money. That was not delivered. They took all that money. That money wasn't frozen. For us, it was frozen. But for them, it wasn't. They took that and kept reinvesting that over a year and a half. So if anybody says there's no money out there, you're full of it. And if anyone else is out there saying that, oh my God, you'd be lucky to get this, that's because they're on the take. They kissed the ring long time ago. Maybe he's never gonna kiss no ring. Hopefully you don't kiss a ring. If you do, hopefully it was all well worth it, okay? Anyways, much love, guys. AB Investments. So let's see what happens in the next few days, especially tomorrow.